Hello, my friend, and welcome back. Today I want to do a little card pull and end the week on a little message. Ooh, I love this card. I've pulled this card personally before, but I don't know if we've done it in a video. This is Lumeria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. So I think that the idea of heaven on earth has definitely, floated around, but I think that it was kind of unclear about what it was going to be. If you read the Bible, there's the second coming of Jesus, and it can be definitely interpreted in a lot of different ways. And I think that also we have this maybe it's not a misconception, but we also think of heaven is of a place that we go when we die. But what if we didn't have to die to experience heaven? What if we could experience heaven on earth, but it might look differently than what you would be expecting? When you say the words heaven on earth, maybe you think of world peace and everyone getting along and you can fly, whatever it is that you had in your mind. I'm sure it's different for everyone because all of our minds are different, but I would say for myself, before my spiritual journey, heaven on earth, I really thought that it would be like the second coming of Jesus, like he floats down on a cloud, like, oh, and then, we all turn into like little angels and there's clouds on the earth and we just dance and sing with our loved ones, and, it's just that utopic kind of idea and that utopic kind of world. And heaven on earth is utopic. It is a utopia, obviously, because how could it get any better? However, it might not necessarily be that drastic change. There's a theory that when Jesus said that he would come again, that second coming of Jesus was the enlightenment of humanity. It wasn't exactly that he was going to come and necessarily walk the earth the way he did originally. And Jesus said time and time again that I live inside of every single one of you. So that is how Jesus currently walks the earth. That is how Jesus will walk the earth. And that second coming, that heaven on earth, is our enlightenment. That is our evolution, our awakening. Because when we awaken to our true divine nature, and we awaken to the fact that this reality is an illusion and we can create that reality, and the fact that we are all one and there is nothing outside of us. When we let go of that separateness because we can now see the truth, that is heaven on earth. And you may say, well, where's the peace? Where's this? Where's that? Well, when you start to really embody that connection, and I want to say in cahoots, but in also, I guess cahoots is the word, in coinciding, that's the word, coinciding. So when we give up our separateness and we realize the truth of our oneness, and we coinciding with that, we learn to love ourselves, because we learn that our true nature is love. So if our true nature is love and there is no separateness, how could we do anything but love ourselves? So when we start to really embody that love of ourselves, we then are able to then love others, and we are able to radiate that in the outside world. And the reason why I say we have to love ourselves first is because hurt people hurt people. So when you are able to do the inner work, you are able to show that light of forgiveness onto yourself, and you are able to see yourself as the divine sees us, as our guides see us, as our angels see us, which is absolutely perfect and an integral piece of the puzzle that we are all. We are all this big puzzle of consciousness. When we're able to see ourselves that way, it is very healing to us. It is healing on the inside. And when we start to heal ourselves on the inside and we are no longer hurt people, we no longer have the desire to hurt other people. And when we, coinciding with that connection, when we realize that we are the earth, we are nature, and when we have that unconditional love towards ourselves, we also no longer want to do things that hurt nature. We want to coexist with nature. We don't want to conquer nature. When we give up that need to conquer, because conquering is a need for power, and we know, if you watch my videos, you know that power comes from within. Power doesn't come from conquering others. When we let that go, that is where the peace comes in. That is where the unity comes in. That is where the utopic society of all of us living together in perfect coherence, and, you know, us all able to thrive and to live lives of fulfillment and passion and love. That, to me, that is the heaven on earth. That is Lumeria. Creating that heaven on earth. That is what that is. And it starts and it comes from inside every single one of us. And now, just because everyone has to go within, and you might be like, oh my goodness, well, we're never going to get to that heaven on earth, because, you know, the time it's going to take for the 8 billion people to awaken and to do the inner work. Remember two things. You can create your heaven on earth regardless of anyone on the outside of you. Regardless of your life circumstances, regardless of the people that you surround yourselves with, regardless of the people that come into your life or the opportunities. You might hinge heaven on earth on a bunch of things on the outside of you, but let me tell you that that heaven on earth comes from within you. And you don't have to wait for everyone else to awaken to experience your heaven on earth. Because like so many other things in this life, heaven on earth is something that comes from within you. So you have the power to experience your heaven on earth right now. And the second part of that is as more and more people awaken and more people start to create their heaven on earth, it makes it easier for others. You create that momentum, you know, you create that rising tide that is then able to raise all ships, and the ships being humanity. It makes it easier because then you feed that momentum. It might be a little bit harder for us than it might be for people maybe in 100 years or 50 years. But remember that we are all one. So to make it easier for other people is to actually make it easier for ourselves. And we were sent here as light workers, as warriors of the light, whatever you want to call it, the star seeds, whatever label you want to put on it. You were put here during this time to do this work. You chose this Your spirit chose this on a deeper level. And that is something that I remind myself time and time again when it gets hard, when the work is difficult, when I'm finding it seemingly impossible to remain in a high vibration and to be thankful. And the one thing that has kind of come back into my life that I need to start integrating every single day, and I have, because it honestly really puts me into a state of joy, is the idea of worship, of praise, of giving praise and worship to God, to the Lord, to the divine, to the universe, whatever you want to call it. And not in a worship in a way of putting yourself down and putting something else on the pedestal, but worship in the way of trust, of that faith, of the divine. Like, I know you have that bigger plan for me. I know that I am such an integral piece of your puzzle, and I know and have faith that you have my back and that you are always with me, and thank you for that. So getting into that state of worship is something that has been making me feel so much better, and I want to get more and more into that state of worship, into that state of praise, and into that state of just gratitude, of feeling so lucky to be here. That is what has been helping me kind of change my attitude around when I feel bogged down about everything that's going on right now. Because we have to remember that it is only our judgment that things are bad or things are hard. Those are judgments. And the divine doesn't have those judgments. The divine just is. So, and the one other thing I want to talk about is this heaven on earth is we might want it to happen like that. We might want to have, I mentioned it might make it easier for people in 150 or 50 or 100 years, and you'd be like, geez, like, I feel like this should happen kind of like now. Remember that the divine does not function in time. Time is a human construct, okay? The divine functions outside of time, outside of space. So to us, it might seem like, wow, it's going to take 1,000 years for humans to truly awaken and for all of us to experience this time on earth. And like, I don't know the timeline. It could be more, it could be less, but let's just say it's like 1,000 years. My God, well, one, I won't be here to see it. And two, like, why would it take so long? Well, remember, the divine does not function in time, and you will be here. It is only your human body that allows you to not remember all of the lifetimes that you have lived and to be conscious about it in the lifetime that you are living. So your spirit will see it, because remember, you can't not be there. You can't not see it. You are everything on a very deep level. We are all one. So if we were all one, how could we ever miss out on anything? We can't. I used to get not bummed out about it, but I used to think about that before, like, wow, like, I think it's so exciting. Humanity is awakening, but like, I want to see it. I want to be there. And I want to see the light get sparked inside every single person. But the reality is that I am seeing it. We are seeing it. We are all seeing it, because we can't not see it, because we are everything. There is only one consciousness, one energy that creates everything. So how could we not see something that is us? We can't. So that is where I want to leave it today. And I want to thank the divine for this amazing message. Heaven on earth. Let's create our heaven on earth today, right now. Let's not wait for everyone else to awaken, because that's what we're here. We're here to thrive. We're here to have our own heaven on earth, to create that momentum, to make it easier for everyone else, because not everyone else is going to have to go through that work. And that is a great, 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 great thing. So I'm going to leave it here. My name is Anne. I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.